All right, so Cuban, no. So we were talking about how you're headed to Vegas in like a couple hours, right?
Right. As soon as I'm done here
for the debate, right? Yeah. And so Brett was. I know you wanted to ask him something specifically. If the tables were turned, upside down.
You're a Trump supporter all of a sudden. You go, hey, Trump, how do we win this election a month ago or less than a month ago now with everything that's come out in the news about him? Is there a way for him to spin it and win this election if you're advising him?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like Donald. And actually, I supported him at the beginning.
Yeah, I know you did.
What I told him, you got to learn the issues so that you can talk about the issues. Because if all of a sudden he started talking about the issues, people might think he was presidential. The problem is he doesn't know anything to talk about the issues. And if you can't talk about the issues, you have to talk about nonsense. And that's what he does. And so he would literally have to read something for the first time and actually talk about the issues. And if he did that, he would have a much better chance.
Do you think he should apologize for the stuff that's coming out about the women? Do you think he should address it?
Yeah, of course. You have to, Yeah. But that's just not in his nature.
What about Billy Bush? You think Billy Bush should have to step back from the Today Show for that
I don't
stuff?
think that was right.
You don't think it was right?
No, I've been interviewed by Billy a couple of times. I like Billy.
Yeah.
If Billy wasn't the one who admitted to sexual assault.
You think he's a scapegoat for all this kind of thing?
I think partially, but I'm guessing he's going to get paid to be a scapegoat.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so it won't be like he's just got fired and he has no money.
Kristen Bell tweeted out, and I thought it was a good point. She was like, Billy Bush is going to be fired and terminated from his job, where Donald could still potentially be our president. Yeah, which is crazy.
In a lot of respects, it is crazy, and I feel bad for Billy, right? But Billy's a smart guy. He'll land on his feet. But when you get interviewed by people, sometimes they'll go along with whatever the interviewee is saying, right? Just like I can say something stupid here, right? And you go, oh, that's so cool, Mark, right?
Yeah. We talked
and I
about
walk out the door and you're like, what an idiot, right? That's just part of the drill.
So we talked about that. You kind of have a choice to make it, and sometimes you're like, I'm not going to change your mind on something. Right. So okay, let's just go with it. Or do you make that decision at that point? You stand up and you're like, dude, what you're saying, real screwed up right now.
Right. So, it's a tough call, but I don't think Billy Bush is thinking to himself, he just admitted to sexual assault, right? Because, I think if he processed it that way, I think Billy would have said something.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's one thing to brag about conquest or talk about how hot somebody is. That's locker room talk. It's a whole nother thing to say, this is what I do.
I can grab a woman whenever I want.
Right. No. No. And so, that's just the way it is. It is.
Talking in the locker room. Let's go. Let's keep going with Cuban knows. Dak or Romo? What do you think?
I think you let Tony decide.
Tony Romo decide.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take.
Right, because Tony's a leader in the locker room. He's got the respect of all the guys. He's got the respect of the community. He's got the respect of the organization. And because of that, he's earned the right to make that decision.
Does he still have the respect of the locker room when this team starts 5-1? Yes. And he's only played 4 games of the last 20?
Yeah, absolutely, because he keeps on fighting back.
Okay.
Right? It's not like he's just hurt all the time. He's trying to come back. He's trying to do what's best for the team. And doing all the rehab is not easy, and I think the guys love him and respect him.
Do you think Jerry should be involved in it? I feel like Jerry keeps having Jerry's always involved, but
look, it's just like, at some point we'll make that decision on Dirk, right?
But will you be involved in that, or will you trust the people that you hired, the coaches, the GMs?
Of course I'm going to be involved in it. Yeah, but it's a group decision, right? I'll have my input, Coach will have his, Donnie will have his, Dirk will have his, right? Yeah. But it really comes down to Dirk in a lot of respects because, when you're with the team as long as Tony's been, as long as Dirk has been, they've earned that right to really make that decision. And if you don't agree with it, then you deal with it at the point. But it's not like all of a sudden, if Tony decides that he should start, Dak becomes a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you think the team still backs Romo, though, if he makes a decision and misses?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Because they know that they can be successful with Tony because when they were healthy and he was healthy, we had our last good year.
Okay, I guess before we move on from this, what kind of competitor is Tony if he's like, well, I don't want to start? But is that maybe because he wants the best interest in the team?
What he would say is, look, it's killing me not to play, but Dak is on a roll, and I'm about winning because 20 years from now, they won't remember this decision. They'll remember the look of the ring on my finger.
I'm going to write down the speech for Romo that you just gave him. Right? We'll email it to him.
And all those stats.
When it's all said and done.
Because Romo's the best statistically quarterback the Cowboys have ever seen. Yeah.
But, and he's smart enough to know that he feels stress when it comes to getting back on the field. Right, he's going to be just as terrified of taking that hit and getting hurt again and his career being over.
Yeah,
and so he recognized that Tony is smart. I've spent time talking to him, and beside his athletic talent, he's just a smart guy and a good guy, and he understands the big picture.
I like it. And even Troy Aikman said, he was like, listen, do you stop the momentum of the team? But you got to trust in the Romo, right? You got to trust. And they call him the Romo.
The Romo, right?
The Romo.
Troy, the Romo, right?
Okay. Cuban knows. Super teams. We're talking basketball. I mean,
I love it. I love it.
You like it?
Do you think it's good for business, though?
Yeah, I think it's good for business, and because A, people want to come see them, and B, it creates a villain. So everybody wants to boo them.
Yeah, I've seen your quotes on the villain, but like, if people want to come see them, but does it I guess, water down the rest of the teams? Are like, are Mavs still booking like when some of those non-super teams come in?
It's harder for us to sell. Look, we have the longest sellout streak in professional sports. So buy tickets 214-747 Mavs.com. We play the Rockets tonight. Season opener on Fox Sports Southwest, and home opener the 28th against the Rockets.
Let's have it pop up on the video too.
Mavs.com.
Cool. Yeah, perfect.
It is harder to sell tickets, but it's still good for the NBA. You want to have, because everybody's rooting for them to fail. The team with the easiest route, everybody hopes they fail. And so
will the Warriors fail this year?
It's going to be a lot harder than people think. I think, losing Andrew Bogut, when they lost him in the finals,
Bogut
3-1 lead.
Screwed everything up, yeah.
And we got him, right? He's top 3 defensive center in the NBA, the best passing center in the NBA by far. Losing Harrison Barnes, that was a lot of defensive and offensive flexibility and versatility.
Is he a star like you say he is?
I don't think he's a star yet, but he's really on the cusp, right? In order to be a star, you have to be given the responsibility of being a star. And he hasn't been given that responsibility yet. But on the defensive end, he's one of the top defenders because he's so versatile. He can defend one through all positions, right? On the offensive end, he's still not going to be asked to carry the scoring load every game, right? Dirk's still going to take his shot. D. Will take his turn. Wes will take his turn, etc. But he's going to be given the opportunity to evolve into that spot. And so, does he have a chance to be a star? Absolutely.
Cool. I'm excited for the season to kick off. Like I said, we went to preseason against OKC, and it was just fun. Like, you bring your family. There's a little kid with his dad. Like, I love that. I have a 6-year-old son. And,
I'm a 7-year-old, right?
Yes, it's like, and I think you travel a lot. My son lives in Chicago, so I'm on a plane every other weekend. It's tough. Hard. So at those moments you get to create, it's like
someone's just asking me, would I sell the team? And no. And part of it is just watching the look on my 7-year-old or my 9-year-old daughter, right? Now, my 13-year-old daughter is like, Dad.
Yeah, right. You get to a certain stage.
Like, she's too cool for school. But just that feeling you get. And that's the beauty of the Mavs, right? It's not about dunks and everything. People don't, if you ask people about their sports memories, they don't remember home runs, they don't remember dunks, right? They remember the look on their girlfriend's face, on their son's face, their daughter's face, their mom's face. You remember going to your first game?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's one of the biggest struggles he has is, his son just started soccer and he can't be there. He can't make it to the games. So this is like half joking and half serious. Can he use the private jet to catch a game one time, man, or what?
It's only $25,000 an hour.
If I start saving now, it'll be
right.
But the look on his kid's face. But look at the look on his kid's face when his dad surprised him at a game.
$25,000.
Airlines does fly to Chicago.
I did like that you even pointed out that was one of the best things you ever did was investments was buy the plane because it made it easier to be with your
dude.
kids.
It saves time and
time's the one thing you can't ever buy and you can't get back.
So we're gonna work real hard on this show because $25,000.
Blow it up, baby.
We're gonna work real hard on it.
Blow it up.
All right, Cuban knows. Can we do this every once in a while, like once a month or something?
No, I don't know if I can do it once a month because my schedule.
Because that's what we emailed you about.
Yeah. But come on down and come to the games. I'll hook you guys up with tickets.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Some tickets away on the air for tonight's game.
Yeah,
we'll do it at the game. Can we hang out in the stands and do the questions?
Because when I'm in the game,
you're in the game. Okay,
I've seen you at games. That's why I was afraid of you owning the Cubs.
So was Major League Baseball, right?
That's
be running on the field with a bat. Yeah, right.
I love it, Mark. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks,
we appreciate
guys. I really
you.
appreciate it. It was fun.